Hi everyone, it's Bev DeBono, and it is basket time for Easter eggs or for your beautiful spring flowers. So the technique that we're going to do is using our jumbo circle and one of our border punches to make the basket handle. Now, this is a fun one, and what I want to do is select a border punch, and usually we punch our borders, and these are our straight standalone border punches. These are not the Border Maker cartridges. I want to select a punch that has a nice rounded edge to it so that it looks more like a basket handle. And these are the three that I would recommend for this particular basket. There's Infinity Heart. There is Beaded Oval. And there is also Weaving Waves. Now, the one that's still on the website is Beaded Oval. I'm going to be using that one for the demonstration. Okay, usually we punch our border punches straight across, but I'm going to use the border punch and punch it in a half circle with this particular idea. Okay, so let's get started. What are you going to need? You're going to need your jumbo circle. You're going to need your paper that you're making a basket out of. So I'm going to be using, this is from Springtime Soiree. It's a nice soft plaid, pastel plaid. Then I'm going to be using, we need some paper for the grass underneath. I'm using a pale green, and then you need a nice color for the bow on the top. And I'm going to be showing you how to make this bow using the 12-inch decorative wavy trimmer. Okay, so this basket you can use for flowers for spring or for eggs for Easter. I just wanted to show you that how cute it looks with flowers, and you can fit, you can fit several photos on here if you want to um, do a big one and a small one or three small ones. I think sometimes that works better. Or, and this particular basket with the flowers, you could use for a lot of things, for spring, for your garden, Mother's Day. I think it's just a fun, soft type of a basket. And then from the frame that we're cutting around, you also can make a page that can go on the other side. Okay, so that's just another idea. And these are the nice die cut letters that are currently available in 4 different colors. Okay, so let's get started. Let's do our basket first. So we want to center whatever paper we're using on our 13 by 13 mat. And then we want to take our jumbo circle and we want to center that on our paper. Okay, so jumbo circle, and now we're going to use the red blade on the outside. Jumbo circle, red blade on the outside. Okay, I'm just going to hold it down with my hand. The 2 bumps go into the grooves of the template, and now we're just going to go straight around. Okay, this outer frame is what we're going to use to make an accompanying piece for your other side. So let's put that aside. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find, this is a nice overall pattern, so I can actually use it in, any way. But I'm going to use the beaded oval. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to punch it from the upside down. Okay, and the repeat on this one is a little bit bigger than 2 inches. And that doesn't really matter. But what I want to do is I just want to tell you that we're going to punch 6 times. We're going to punch it about 6 times. Okay, so just take your paper. You're going to put it all the way to the back. Okay, and now you see you've got a round piece of paper in a um, square area there. You want to see that it's evenly distributed on both sides. Okay, and then turn it over and punch. Okay, oops. All right, now I'm going to take it again. I'm going to try to match up this part of the design to this part of the design on the punch itself, the other half of the bead. And just do it the best you can. Put it all the way to the back. Make sure it's evenly distributed and turn it over and punch. Okay, don't worry if it's not totally even. We're just going to cut that with our micro tip scissor. I just want to take that debris out so I can see what I'm doing. Sometimes when you turn these punches over, the latch may slip a little, so you want to make sure it's fully open when you punch it. Okay? And we're going to do it one more time. Just try to match it as best you can. It's not going to match totally. That's fine. We're going to cut it with the microtip scissor. You see, it's not totally matched at that one. That's fine. No worries. I'm going to do it again. And I think I need to do it, 2 more times. So I think we do it a total of 6 times. All right. Sometimes I just need to get that paper out of there using my multi-purpose tool just to get that paper out of there. And we want to punch it, at about half, so we're done about half of it. So center it as best you can. You've got a round piece of paper in a rectangle opening. So punch it as best you can. Okay, so when you have it about halfway done, it'll look like this. It's halfway punched. Okay, so I'm going to clear all of my punch confetti, my punch debris. Okay, and now I'm going to put this in my, let's see, did I want to punch that one more time? Let me see. I thought I punched it. Nope, I think we're fine. I'm going to put this in my trimmer. And what I'm trying to do is to cut this from one side of that handle where it's open to the other side of that handle. You see, I'm just trying to cut straight on that line. So this piece will come off. All right, I'm going to put that in my trimmer and you can kind of see where it's going to be. I'm going to line that opening up with my cut line and the other opening up with my cut line. Don't worry if you're not gonna cut it all the way through. We're gonna clip it with our microtip scissors after to clean it up. Okay, so just try to get as close to your cut line as possible without cutting it through. Okay, so you see you could just fold it back. Oh, it looks nice on the yellow side too. I hadn't thought of that. It actually looks kind of nice. So whichever side you want it to actually to be. Okay, so I'm taking my micro tip scissor now and I'm just going to finish off that where I didn't cut because I didn't want to go all the way through to, I didn't want to cut my handle. So I was more cautious about it. Okay, might be easier to see on this. Let me put it on some white. Okay, so I just clipped it there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my micro tip scissor and I'm just going to round out some of these, you know, some of these little places here. This is the beaded oval, so I'm going to make it more like an oval. I'm just kind of rounding it off. Don't forget, we were trying to punch a straight punch in a round. So we're going to have some of these jaggedy edges. All right, and I'm also going to clear up some of the ones on the bottom also. Now, depending on what punch you use, you may not have that situation. Yep, and that one came out okay. Okay, so there is our basket. Debating if I like the yellow side or I think I like the plaid side. Okay, so that is step one of our basket. Now let's go ahead and make our grass. I'm going to use the new the returning grassland border punch, and I'm just using a nice. Oh, let me cut this at 2 inches. Let me cut this at 2 inches first. Okay, so 2 by 12. I'm cutting this 2 by 12. I'm going to do it 2 times because I'm going to make 2 pages. Okay, and now I'm going to put that in my punch. And I actually am going to put my Post-it note at the very end of the paper there because the paper is too short to extend past the bottom of the punch. So I'm not going to know exactly where it's starting on that black line. So I'm just adding a little Post-it note. So when it sticks out, you see I know exactly where it's going to start. Another trick is just to turn it over and to make sure that that edge goes all the way to the edge of your punch before you start punching. So you could do it either way. Okay, so this is the grassland border punch. This is a returning punch. It's a very popular one. And it does make very tall blades of grass. Great for sports. Like I said, I'm using it for spring. That's going to be the border on one page. And now let's do our trick again. I'm putting my Post-it note, lining it up to the end of the paper so that it's flush with the end of the paper there. And then that's going to go all the way back on my border punch. And I'm punching and moving it down, punching and moving it down until it is complete. Okay, let's move my punch debris. And I'm ready to assemble these 2 pages now before I do the bow. Okay, so the page on the left, I'm going to use the outer frame. And with my repositionable tape, I'm going to be using this basket for Easter eggs. And the other example that I had used it for flowers. So it's a very versatile basket. It's putting a little bit of repo tape. And now I'm just going to line this at the top. Line it at the top. Make sure my top is nice and even. And just slowly float it down, just like you're doing wallpaper. Okay, so that is the first page, and then I'm going to put my grass border. Two inches is a really good one because now I can still nestle my eggs under there. And now for my basket, I'm going to put my basket on first. Let me just clean up that little edge there. It's not so, it's a little too sharp. There we go. Okay, so that is the basket, and you want to make sure, oh, it's at about, oh, you're opening. Now, this is a nicer size basket because I can get a full 4x6 picture in here, almost a 5x7. If you're doing an Easter Bunny picture, that will go great in that. Okay, and now this is ready for your Easter eggs. Okay, so let's make our bow. So to make our bow, oops, my handle was coming up. There we go. So let's make our bow. I'm going to be using the 12-inch wavy trimmer to make the bow. And I'm going to be using, when you open your arm, make sure your arm opens to the left. I'm using the really wavy one. That's the one that I'm using, the real wavy one. Okay. And I'm going to, let me get this paper even. I'm going to start by making the first cut. So I have to get it started. So I'm going to put my paper all the way to the top. Okay, and I'm just going to line the paper up to one of the lines on the trimmer itself, the right side of the paper. Okay, and now I'm going to make the first line. Okay, that is just a scrap, but if you want, you could also attach it to the bottom. This would also be kind of a nice little piece too. Now what I like to do is I'm going to slide this over so that it is, I'm going to take it and I'm going to turn it over. Okay, so we had our paper was like this and it was all the way up to the top. I'm going to turn my paper. Let's turn it around to face the other side. Okay, so now my wavy pattern is on the left. And now I'm going to put it back in my trimmer, but this time I'm going to put it all the way on the bottom. All the way on the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to line it up. Let me just get that in there. Whoops, it's moving. This paper was a little too short. Okay, you don't want to use cardstock to make the bow because we're going to be folding it. Okay, so I'm just lining it up like all the way to the bottom. I'm just trying to see where my um, circle parts are going to be. And I'm lining that edge of the paper, the edge of the inside of that wave to where it's the inside of the wave on the tool. Okay, so the tool on the inside of the wave here, that's going to line up to where the inside of that. So let me take it out. The deepest part of the wave here is what's going to line up to the inside of this template part of the wave. Okay, and we're going to put that all the way on the bottom. And hopefully this will work. If it doesn't, it'll be no worries. And if it's close enough, it's close enough. Okay, and here is a really big bow. No, actually, that worked out great. Okay, so now this is what we have. And it looks like this. So it's pretty even. And this could be various lengths. I mean, various widths. It's okay. It doesn't all have to be so skinny and whatever. And I'm just going to take the two middles and I'm going to fold them in. Okay, I'm going to take wave number 2 and wave number 3, and I'm going to fold those in half. Wave number 2 is getting folded over. All right, and I'm going to clip the extra from the back. All right, and then wave number 3 is going to get folded over like that. Okay, and I'm going to clip the extra from the back. Okay, so that's the beginning of our bow. All right, so I'm going to do it. Oh, show you that again. This was wave. These were all pieces. This was the portion of the second wave and the third wave. I folded it under, lined it up. Okay, and I'm actually going to put a foam square under there so that it's going to give it a little bit of a pop. Not a lot. I don't want to fold it down all the way. I want it to have a little bit of a dimension to it. Okay, so before I fold it back over, I'm putting a little foam square right in there. And I'm going to fold that in. Okay, and then I'm going to take wave number 3 and I'm folding that in. All right, I'm going to put a little foam square under there. All right, and then just clip whatever excess is hanging around in the back. We don't really need a lot of that from the back. All right, and then I'm also going to just definitely put some tape on that. Okay, so if we need to clean that up, I'm going to do that. Okay, so that's the beginning of the bow. And then I just want to decide how long I'm going to use one of the other pieces of that I just cut of that wave. And I'm just going to hand cut it and make a little, that ribbon. So now I have the two bottom pieces. And I'm sure there are easier ways to do this, but this is just a really quick one. Okay, I'm going to put a little repo tape on the back of my ribbon piece. And then I'm going to put my two ribbon tails. Okay, and then I'm going to get another little, and this is all from the pieces. So this was another part of that a wave that I cut off. I'm going to now just cut into it to make a little square, and that's going to go on the top with a foam. So I'm just cutting into that extra piece there. That's going to go on the top with a little foam to give it another dimension, like it's another part of the ribbon. Okay, so we use that whole piece there just from the wave that we did with that border. And if you think that's too big, no worries. You can always make it a little smaller, clip it down. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a fun little bow. Okay, and I'm going to put a foam square on the back of that. So that's my extra little piece. That's just going to make it look, pop it there. Okay, so that is our ribbon with the decorative trimmer. Okay, it's kind of fun. All right, I'm going to take my ribbon down. You can put the ribbon on the side. You can put the ribbon, in the middle, wherever you want to put it. Okay, and now this is going to be an Easter basket. So I'm going to use my oval templates. There we go. I'm going to use my oval templates. Now I've got all these ovals here, and you can use scraps. And I've actually used a lot of scraps for the Easter eggs. So I'm just going to pull out some of the eggs that I've already cut, and I'm going to nestle some of them in the grass, and you can play with them however however you want. You could also use half eggs. Like I have some of these that didn't have enough of a scrap there. So I am just going to, nestle a couple of those in there. And they can be all different sizes. It's kind of fun when they're all different sizes. And you can use any of your oval patterns, inside, the outsides, any of them. I'm going to make this one, I need a green one, so I'm going to use the inside. Just use all your different sizes. That's what I did. I just kind of used whatever size would work with the pastel scraps that I had. Okay, so then that page would be complete. And then this other page, I was going to make it like an Easter egg hunt. So maybe with my multi-purpose tool, I will lift up a little bit of the blades of grass and nestle some of my eggs under there. And you can put your title after. Yep, a really cute and easy, fun pattern. And your eggs can be all different sizes, all different colors. If you have Easter bunnies, you can have them pop up in there. Oh, I think I need another green one. Let me cut another green one. There's a purple. Yeah, so just use whatever ovals, whatever size ovals you have that are going to fit the pastel scraps that you have um, for your Easter eggs. Okay, so this particular page that I'm working on is going to be an Easter egg hunt. It's not really a hunt because it's all full of eggs, but you know, that's okay. It's kind of a fun, it's kind of a fun one. And you can add flowers to this. You can add butterflies. You can add anything springy that you'd like with a nice title. Okay, so that is the basket with the Easter eggs. And here is the basket with flowers. Same idea, same bow. This one came out a little smaller. These bows come out different every time I do them, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. And then these are some of the flowers that Creative Memories has had. Um, you know, and there is a flower promotion that is going on right now, and it is any of the 6. We have these wonderful packs of 6 flowers. There's purple and teal and green and blue and yellow and red and orange. And you can get any 6. You can get this pack the way that it is, or any 6 combinations of the beautiful flowers. And they also come with the enamel dots that go on the inside. And they're offering a pack of This Life words as well. So, you know, I don't have any more of the This Life words, so I do have other words, but, you know, you can actually add any of the flowers to that. And I did add some enamel dots to the inside of those as well. Okay. And if you want to use these nice letters, those also come in 4 different colors. I happen to use, this was called dark green, but there's blue and white, this light craft beige, and the dark green. This is the dark green, believe it or not. And there is also now a fun divider that fits into your sort and stash binder. That's a 3 by 3 inch, and these will all fit in there. I will point out that the reason I like the white ones is because you can use your pens and color the white ABCs and make them any color that you want. So if you're looking for a red and there's no red, or an orange or a purple, you can color right on it. It is a nice heavy cardstock, and you'll be able to make any color of those that you want. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed the technique. This is Easter and spring baskets. And let me get the other basket. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not working with a Creative Memories advisor, please feel free to order from my website. If you're looking to join a Creative Memories team, I do have a nice team that I support. I just want to show you, these are 3.5 by 3.5 photos. You could also put a 4 by 6, a 3.5 by 5.5 on here. Another one there. So it can take several photos. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in again with me another time, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.